What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review, and today I'm very excited to check out Munchkin Christmas Lite from Steve Jackson Games. It's for 3 to 4 players, ages 10 plus. It'll take about an hour to play. And Munchkin Christmas Lite is a standalone / expansion to the immensely popular game of Munchkin, in which you are going to be trying to get to 10 points by slaying monsters, playing cards, helping your opponents, gaining treasure, hurting your opponents, and doing all sorts of things like that. It is a enjoyable take that game that I personally really do enjoy. I love Christmas as well, so this seems like it should be a slam dunk. Is it? Let's open it up, and I'll tell you what I think about it. Alright then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Munchkin Christmas Lite. So before we get started, I do want to mention something I forgot to mention in the pros and cons, and this is on the con side. The game does not come with all the components you'll need for keeping track of score, so you'll need a D6 die, and you also need a pen and a paper. The reason they did that is because they wanted to put it in a smaller box, so I understand it, but it is something that I did want to mention. So first and foremost, we got our handy dandy rule booklet, double-sided, just a big wall of text on both sides, and it's incredibly well done, as it should be, because this is like the 30th or 40th different version of Munchkin, and they just pretty much use the same rules. So if you've played one of the other versions of Munchkin, you can almost just skip the rules and go straight into the gameplay, which is a good thing, but still, rules very well done, should have you up and running. So in this game, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get to level 10. You're going to get to level 10 by playing cards that will say go up a level, or by killing monsters. When you kill a monster, you are going to gain a level, and you're also going to gain treasure. Now, levels are going to win you the game, so if you get to level 10, you win the game if you're able to defeat a monster to get to level 10, but they also are going to add to your attack points as well. So if you're a level 8 and you have no armor, no gear, no whatever, you have 8 attack points that you can use to attack monsters. So let's go over the 2 different kinds of cards. You're going to have the door deck, and you are going to have the treasure deck. When you first start around, you're going to flip over the door, and hopefully you're going to be facing monsters. If you can defeat those monsters, then you will gain treasure, but I'll show you how that works in a second. When you first start the game, you are going to be dealt 2 treasure cards and 2 door cards. So let's take a look at what we got in our hand. So first we have a use all your Christmas lights. That one will immediately make you go up a level, so it's a pretty good card to have. This one is a short sword, which you can play in front of you. It is a one-handed item, and you can have 2 one-handed items. And this one will give you a +1 bonus. So it's not a big deal, but hey, it's going to give you +1 to your attack, so you might just play that down in front of you right there. So now, since we just started the game, we're at level 1, so we have 1 attack, we now have 2 attack. If we wanted to play this go up a level, we could also do that. The other 2 cards we have is +5 to monsters, because you are going to be able to impact other players when they are fighting monsters. So this monster is intelligent, like the artwork and the humor there, so the monster will be more difficult to defeat for other people, and if people are defeated by monsters, bad things will happen, which is good, because I can show you this. Level 16 Hippogriff will not pursue anyone of level 3 below. So if this came up and you were level 1 or level 2, you wouldn't even have to fight it. However, if you are level 3 or level 4 or higher, you're going to have to face him. So how much health does he have? He has 16 health, which means you need to be able to come up with 16 health. So right now we would have 1 plus our level, which would be 1, so it would be a level 2. So what happens if you can't defeat him? Well, you try and run away, which means you're going to be rolling a die. If you can't run away, then bad stuff will happen. When I say bad stuff, yeah, right there, bad stuff will happen to you. You are stomped and chomped. You drop things as you flee, starting with the player on your right. Each player may take 1 treasure card from in front of you or without looking from your hand. So other people are going to be able to take your cards, which is pretty bad. Some will kill you, some will make you lose levels. They'll do various bad things to you. However, if you can successfully defeat this guy, you're going to gain 2 levels, which is really good, and also 4 treasure cards. Now, another interesting aspect to this game is, in addition to being able to modify other people's monsters to make it more difficult, you can ask for help from someone else at the table. You might be like, oh, I see you have, 15 in armor over there and you're level 3, so would you like to help me defeat this Hippogriff? Well, you can't give them the levels. You can say, I'll give you 3 treasures. And I'd be like, no. You're going to give me all 4 of those treasures and I'll help you beat it. And if they agree to it, then you're going to add up your combined attack along with their combined attack, and then if you can defeat it, you are going to you're defeated, you'll gain the levels, and they would gain the treasure, or however you decided to negotiate. So those are the cards in our hand. Let's show you how a mock turn is going to go. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to kick open the door, which means you're just going to flip over the top door card and see what it is. And it is a nice card. So this is a modifier that you'll be able to play on yourself. And there's various different modifiers. So you can have classes like bards and thieves and orcs and wizards and elves. These ones are races, and you can have one race and one class. And these will give you different persistent bonuses. So this one's +1 to run away, and you go up 1 level for every monster you help someone else kill, which means you're always going to be trying to help other people. We have the halfling. You may sell 1 item each turn for double price. Now, why would you want to sell your valuable items? Because on the bottom, they actually have a gold amount on them. And if you sell 1,000 worth of gold pieces, you go up 1 level. Now, you can't win the game by doing that. You can only win the game by defeating a monster, but it still is nice during the mid part of the game. Now, the two ones in this are naughty and nice. So naughty, play at any time, you are naughty. This card becomes a part of your character. You may discard it at any time, otherwise it is never lost. You get -4 against all Santa monsters. So there are various different Santa monsters in the deck. You look to stir up trouble. You may discard 1 card to add 1 monster to any combat, and you never receive charity. Now, charity is when people have too many cards in their hands at the end of a turn, but this essentially means that you can play monsters out of your hand, like this big dude right here, but at the same time, there is a downside to it. So that's a really good card. On the flip side, we have nice. Play at any time. You are nice. This card becomes part of your character, blah, blah, blah. When you kick open a door and find a monster of level 3 or below, you must discard it and loot the room. In any other combat, draw an extra treasure if you win. So if you face low monsters, you're not going to be able to fight them, but you still get good stuff. But if you face... if you defeat higher monsters, you're going to get extra treasure. So it's kind of a risk-reward type of situation with these 2 cards. But anywho, we just kicked open the door. We got this naughty card. We get to keep this naughty card. Everyone gets to see it. So now I have a choice. I can either look for trouble or loot the room. Loot the room means I just take the top card of this deck, put it in my hand. I don't have to show it to anybody, and I get to move forward. Or I can look for trouble. That means I'm going to take a monster out of my hand and attempt to fight that monster. And this particular scenario, I obviously do not want to fight this level 16 Hippogriff. This is a very bad idea, so I would loot the room. I would maybe use this treasure, so I'd say, oh, I go up a level, so now I'm a level 2. And that would be the end of my turn because I'm not over the maximum hand limit. And that would be the end of the turn, so now I would move on to the next person. What can happen from time to time is there's also curses in here. And if you flip over a curse, that means that you have to deal with the curses. The curses are bad. Lose 2 cards. So if I was kicking open the door and this one came up, I would have to deal with losing 2 cards. However, if I take it face down, I'll actually be able to play this on someone else during my turn. How you play cards on your turns is a little bit willy-nilly. Like, so for instance, I can play this at any point. I can play that curse at any point. It's very free form with how you can play cards. But let's just go over some of the cards because that's pretty much what you're going to do. You're going to continue to kick and open the door, looting the room, fighting monsters. If you defeat the monsters, gaining treasure, rolling to run away, so on and so forth. But let's show you some of the cards, some of the humor. So we got a level 10 net troll. He has no special powers and he's really mad about it. This is a card from the original Munchkin, but it's got a holiday theme to it. Gnome in the home, +3 against elves. Obviously, that's a Elf on the Shelf reference. Christmas ham, +4 against bards. Curse, ate too much fruitcake. The gazebo, the holiday themed gazebo. The pack rat, so which is also another card in Munchkin, but they kind of made it Christmassy themed, which I like as well. The leprechaun, who's obviously angry because, well, it's not St. Patrick's Day. The Manta Claus, the wandering monster, but now he's got the hat on. We got the secret Santa, who's a ninja. That's pretty humorous. He doesn't have to come down the chimney. He's right behind you. Will not pursue anyone of level 3 or below. Green Army Men, any foot gear gives double bonuses. Step on them. So as you can see, lots of holiday theme. The Frost Giant in this game, but it is your typical game of Munchkin. Let's go to my... Alrighty then, Munchkin Christmas Lite from Steve Jackson Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros. Let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, if you don't like Munchkin, this is not going to change your mind. I say that every single time I do a Munchkin game review. So if you don't like Munchkin, this isn't going to be for you. Also, if you're not the biggest fan of Christmas and the Christmas season and the humor associated with Christmas, then this one's not going to be for you, which isn't a huge deal because there are, like, literally probably 30 to 40 other Munchkin expansions that you can go to that will fit with the theme that you like. Another con that I have with this game is that there's nothing new here, which I kind of suspected. I feel like this is definitely trying to get more of a mass market push. I wouldn't be surprised if you see this at like a Walmart or a Target or something like that. So they're not introducing any crazy new cards into the game. You're going to see wizards and halflings and thieves and elves and the stuff that you're used to in typical Munchkin. I always like to see new stuff. So there's not too much new here, but that I think like that's kind of by design. Another con that I have with the game, and it's just your typical Munchkin con, is that the game can drag on towards the end, and it does have a King of the Hill sort of problem, where if someone's at the top of the mountain, you're going to try and knock them down, and everybody at the table is going to try and knock that player down to make it so they don't win. Like, as soon as you get to 9 points, you have a giant target on your back, everyone's going to attack you until you don't have 9 points, and then whoever does have 9 points, you're just going to attack them. But that is a typical problem with Munchkin. Any other cons that I have with the game? Let's take that. If you don't like take that, this one might not be for you. No. Moving on to the pros, Munchkin Christmas Lite is another rock-solid Munchkin game. So what do I feel about the box? So first and foremost, I love this box. And this is the second game they released that is only 3 or 4 players. And that's another one of the cons. The typical version of Munchkin goes up to 6 players. But when you get to 5 and 6 players, the game stretches out way long, which is going to be a big turnoff to some people. By only having 3 to 4 players, that means the game is going to be substantially shorter, but at the same time, it's also going to limit your player count. So it's kind of, it's a little bit of a toss-up which one you prefer. That's a your mileage may vary kind of thing. But I love the artwork, as always. I love the sense of humor in the game. The sense of humor comes across in spades. I am a huge fan of the holiday season. I'm the kind of guy that the second Halloween is over, it's like Christmas music. I want me some Mariah Carey. Give me some Jingle Bells. November 1st, Christmas. Like, that's me. That's me every single year. So needless to say, I'm preconditioned to like this. I like Munchkin, I like Christmas, and I love this expansion. It will immediately be mixed in with my other versions of Munchkin. What else I like about this is there's not any new rules that you really need to know. With some different versions of Munchkin, there's like a slight rule here or there, which can get kind of convoluted when you have, say, 3, 4, 5 different versions of Munchkin. Be like, oh, so the dragons, they do this, and this has a special ability that you have to remember about, and this has a special ability. There's none of that in this game. You can easily just, drop this into your box of Munchkin, and you should have no problem mixing and matching it. Now, one thing that I really did like about this was the naughty and the nice cards. I thought that was a really nice added touch, and it works really well thematically. That's one thing I've always loved about Munchkin, is they really do care about the theme in their games, and the holiday theme definitely comes across in this game. So enjoy the artwork. I enjoy more Munchkin goodness, and it's pretty simple. If you enjoy Munchkin, and if you enjoy Christmas and the holiday season, this is a no-brainer, slam dunk, go pick this one up. If you don't enjoy Munchkin, or you don't enjoy this time of year, then don't pick it up. It's just that simple. Steve Jackson Games, I'm really excited to see what they're doing as they try to get more of a mass market push with Munchkin. I do like the box size, especially considering if you get a bigger version of Munchkin, you can kind of just toss this box away without even thinking about it. So in the end, Munchkin Christmas Lite, I enjoy it. I recommend it. It's going to go immediately into my box of Munchkin goodness, so I'll be playing with Munchkin Christmas cards year-round. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know, what is your favorite thing about the holiday seasons? Even if you hate it, what's something you do like about it? For me personally, this is such a difficult question. I love the music. I love the season. I love more traffic. I love the snow. I love children just like, oh my gosh, I want this and I want that. I love going to the mall when it's super packed and kids are excited and parents are stressed out, because I really don't get stressed out. That's how I am. But I just love everything about it. I love the smells and the scents and the sounds. I love that there's going to be 2 days in a 1 month span where I'm going to be able to binge eat as much as I want. Thanksgiving and Christmas and the day after Thanksgiving. I love Black Friday. Oh, I love the holidays so much. Woo! Woo! Let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite thing about the holidays? And always, thanks for your time, YouTube.